It is a Monday, and that means hard right, hard left. The things that we got the most correct last week, things that we got the most wrong last week. Starting with, let's go hard left. Let's start on the negative so we can end on the positive. Hate to say it, man. Aaron Rodgers, you got this. I would have said, and I have, Aaron Rodgers has no more great games left. I think he maybe had a few good games left in him, but I truly thought at 40 years old, 41 years old, it was just over. I don't believe in the Steelers. I still don't. Didn't believe in Rodgers. I still don't. But you have to give credit where credit is due. Really, this entire game could be a hard left. This entire game could be a hard left because Tony and I were talking in our group chat yesterday before the game was played. This was an easy under. Well, they blew the door off the under. Justin Fields, who I root for Justin Fields. I want Justin Fields to be successful. I like Justin Fields. If you would have told me this was the highest scoring game in that opening block, I would have called you a liar, and I would have bet my life savings on it, and then I'd be broke here crying, begging for money. For Aaron to have 4 touchdowns, the Steelers' offense to just objectively look good against a Jets team that has a handful of good defenders, an elite corner, a defensive head coach, excuse me, and you put up those amount of points on them. Yes, the 60-yard field goal, whether or not that went in, I don't think takes away from what they accomplished yesterday. Like, even if they had lost and if Aaron had the 4 touchdowns and they lost, I would still come here and say, hey, I was wrong. Aaron Rodgers had a amazing game. You could argue it's probably statistically, it's either him or Josh Allen, statistically the best game of week 1. And that's at 41 years old. So I wouldn't have said he could have this game the entirety of the season. If you had said over under 4 touchdown games for Aaron Rodgers, and if the over under was at 1, I would have bet the under. So I got to give it up. This is, again, Aaron Rodgers is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Tom Brady came out this last week, said he's the best ever to throw a football in his prime. All that stuff is true. I also think all that stuff could be true and him no longer be nearly that good. And really, at this point, I would have said he was a below average quarterback if you factor in everything. If you factor in the fact he's not the world's greatest teammate, if you factor in that he can be a distraction, if you factor in that he can be all these other weird personality traits that come along with being Aaron Rodgers. But man, you got to give it up to him. He played a hell of a game. Steelers scored 30-plus points. That's, if you're a Steelers fan, you should be excited. Objectively, you should be really excited. What you saw yesterday, because you know the defense will be better. The defense isn't giving up 30 points a game. Justin Fields had a great game. Again, this whole game could have been a hard left. But I'm going to give it to the winner. And Aaron Rodgers and Steelers, he won. Threw 4 touchdowns. Had a great game. One of his best games in years. When you're wrong, man. Clap it up for him. Aaron Rodgers, you got this one. We'll check back in next week. Transitioning from the hard left, to hard right. I picked the Chargers over the Chiefs in Brazil. Again, I've been on I know they went 15-2 last year, and I know they still made it to the Super Bowl, but I have been on the Chiefs decline for the last year and a half, and I still believe the Chiefs are declining. I still believe that we have, until something drastically changes, we have seen the best of Mahomes, and the division is better, the coaches are better, the players in their division are better, and that's what the Chargers proved. The Chargers, even without Rashawn Slater, they're able to. Now, they really couldn't run the ball. I will say that. The Chiefs' run defense, if we're going to say one thing was still really, really good, the Chiefs' run defense was really good from yesterday. But the passing attack, Xavier Worthy or no Xavier Worthy, the ability to Travis Kelce to be an impact player. His one big play was on a busted coverage. The Chargers, again, busted coverage. Travis Kelce got open. Cool. Mahomes was able to do a handful of Mahomes plays, but it's just not enough, man. Like, the Chiefs are no longer this dominant team where they just roll out of bed and get on the bus and it's like, oh, we're clearly the best team on the field. Is Mahomes should he still be your consensus number one quarterback? Yes, because his resume says that it should. But at some point, and I've said this a bunch, and I said this on group chat yesterday, something we struggle with tremendously is how we evaluate in the moment versus how we evaluate once we have all the information. Right now, when Mahomes is winning Super Bowls, when you have the trophy, we're always going to elevate you. You deserve that. You're the champs. If you ask me, I think Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback. Am I going to is there a chance I could look on that opinion in 5 years and go, yeah, I was kind of, in that moment, maybe, but like there's, these other guys are out there and maybe that's going to be a wrong opinion in 4 or 5 years once I've had more time, more information. Mahomes, we just gave greatest quarterback ever, second greatest quarterback ever, all these accolades after him winning his 3rd title. What if Mahomes goes another 5-6 years and doesn't win one? And what if Lamar wins 1 or 2? What if Josh wins 1 or 2? Then you got to start looking at resumes and going, actually, is he not Tom Brady, which we didn't give Brady acknowledged GOAT status to that level until after the Atlanta Super Bowl. He's not even definitively anymore just lapping his competition of his generation. If Lamar wins 2 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs, he's a Super Bowl away from Patrick. And if Mahomes doesn't get back to having these great statistical seasons and the Chiefs are this methodic, short pass, run the ball, play great defense teams, and I used to say this about Bill Belichick. I used to, and Bill's the greatest head coach in NFL history, but I used to push back on Belichick a little bit because I'd say when the Patriots were a dynamic offense and they weren't winning Super Bowls, I said, why are we still giving Bill this credit of he's undisputed best in the world when he's a defensive guy and the defense is no longer things the Patriots do best? And he's an offensive guy. Offense is no longer the thing the Chiefs do best. They're a better defensive team than they're an offensive team. So it just, make it make sense. That's all I'm asking for. Make it make sense. And yes, I'm a hater. Yes, I like a team that's in the division, so I dislike the Chiefs naturally. But just being honest, offense is no longer what you do best. You have an offensive head coach. You have supposedly the greatest quarterback we've ever seen, or the best quarterback we've ever seen for you that want to make that differentiation between him and Brady. And let's see, and again, Brady went through several iterations of Patriots. The great dominant defensive team to a great offensive team, the 2 tight end set, and then that team at the end that he dragged to another Super Bowl, 500 yards against the Eagles. Well, he lost that one, but again, dragged that team to a Super Bowl. And then he had the Tampa team. Mahomes, yes, the defense has been great. But it's really for Mahomes, it is with Tyreek and post Tyreek. And did he get 2 Super Bowls post Tyreek Hill? 1,000%. But we've now seen the last year plus, and this version of Mahomes, this iteration, if we want to say this is version 3, again, Brady went through 5 of them. And Mahomes, if he wants to play that long, he's going to have to go through 5 of them. It's how the salary cap works. It's how players come in and out. No one plays as long as the quarterback does. Let's see what this looks like in a handful of years. We've already crowned him the GOAT of this generation, the best ever, all these things. Let's see how that looks in 5-6 years when his contemporaries start also adding to their trophy cases. Now, if they don't add, fine. If Mahomes bounces back from this and he turns back into that guy that he was, cool. Then he's the greatest of the generation, bar none, and we got nothing we can say about him. But if he doesn't, let's not act like that's not up for discussion. So HardLeft, Aaron Rodgers, he got me this week. HardRight, I hate rooting for the Chargers. I didn't really root for the Chargers. I just kind of think the Chiefs, again, I think the Chiefs are on a decline. So HardRight, Chargers winning, or really more so Chiefs losing. HardLeft, Aaron Rodgers, you got me this week. I mean, if you want to be a part of one of the coolest, most unique communities, don't forget to like and subscribe.